Good morning. It is Sunday, so hi all. I'm J.A. Carrollton, and I'm going to rant a little bit today. I know y'all have seen so many of the tips for getting started, how to start writing your novel, what not to do when starting your novel, tips for creating characters. Don't do this with your character. Make sure you do this for XYZ character. Don't open your book like this. Do start your book like that. Don't give your characters XYZ. And in this one, I'm talking about the eyes thing. Like, don't give them color. Don't make them compelling. Don't describe them as soft, intelligent, bright. Come on, y'all. Don't make them reptilian. But what if they are? Just saying. Grab your reader fast or they'll quit reading after the first paragraph. But don't do it like that. Tips the pros use. Write like so-and-so, but not like them. I don't know about you, but I'm really kind of sick of all the vids out there that are made by people who are just really trying to hawk their own writing courses or bill themselves as a consultant or coach or and whatever. And probably because they've written a book or two and maybe most likely won't bother writing more because it's freaking hard to write a book. And if you're trying to do it, you already know it's freaking hard to write a book. And if you've already done it, you already know it's freaking hard to write a book. So honestly, it almost never pays well either. Like maybe 4 out of a few hundred make enough on their writing to be able to call it a lucrative side hustle. And maybe not even lucrative, but a decent side hustle. Odds are that you'll make more doing DoorDash or Uber than you ever will from your writing. So let me ask you, how many of these folks offering their classes and coaching and stuff like that have you ever heard of as writers before you saw them on YouTube? My guess is that many. Yeah, that many. That includes me, just for the record. And I've been writing for over 40 years. And I'm working on book number 13. Yeah, I know, only 13. But I've got 12 others out there. And I just finished the 12th one, by the way. It took me 10 years to write book number 12, which is actually book number 5 in my Heroes of the Lion series. But we'll talk about that another time. But anyway, so yeah, lucky number 13. We'll see. But unlike these folks out there who are trying to hawk their services, because as somebody else said, and I can't remember who it was, but there's a guy out there who gives some really, really good insight into stuff. And one of the things that he said is that it's the shovel sellers who make the money, not the miners. And if we are the miners, we're kind of getting screwed because the shovel sellers are the ones who hawk their wares, the ones who make these fancy sheets, these outline sheets and forms that you can do on your own with a freaking 3-ring binder. Hello, 3-ring binder. See, just like that. You can kind of do it yourself. You don't necessarily need a whole lot of bells and whistles for it. But anyway. You take a breath. Sorry. The only things that I'm selling, at least right now, I would like to get monetized eventually, but the only things that I am selling are my own books for entertainment or personal growth. I have 2 nonfiction books out there. One that I wrote about how to increase your intimacy with a partner based on massage techniques. I was a massage therapist for 25 years. And the other one has some really, really wonderful tips about how to armor yourself psychologically against your naysayers and, family members that always pick on you and stuff like that, or pick at you, particularly with the holidays coming up. That one's a really, really good one. And it's only, I want to say like maybe 100 pages, but it's got 10 great tips that I have used myself to keep myself sane, particularly when dealing with family. The other 10 are fiction or fantasy or science fantasy, depending on where you're going with it, horror, supernatural thriller type of deal. Right now, I'm number 13. Lucky number 13 is going to be just a straight up drama, which is just weird. But it's based on one of my screenplays, but it's kind of a retrofit. I wrote the screenplay first and am going to be fleshing it out a little bit more to turn it into a very, very small novel, probably around the realm of maybe 50,000 words, 60,000 words, something like that. Just kind of keep it tight. Anyway, so, quick word. 10% of all my book sales are earmarked for the Trevor Project and itgetsbetter.org. And I'd eventually like to be able to start doing some fundraisers on YouTube, but I don't have enough yet to qualify. I don't have enough subscribers yet to qualify to, do that. So, or enough watch time. So, please help me share the video around, or share my videos around. Anyway, so getting on with it. If you stick with me by liking and subscribing to my channel, you're going to discover that, like other people, I've got issues, but I'm not afraid to talk about them. It's a kind of a good or bad. I'm not sure which yet. Y'all can tell me in the comment section. Leave your issues out of it. Just straight talk. One of my issues is template users. People who brag about putting out their 20th book in 20 months. And then they tell you that, I'm making $20,000 a month. And you can too by doing it my way. That irritates me. That really just fries my cookies in seed oil. And if you're a health nut, you'll understand what that means. You're not going to make $20,000 a month unless you've got a sugar mama or sugar daddy who's willing to pay for the marketing for you, or perhaps you have a marketing degree yourself. So that's if you even have a day job, because I'm venturing to bet that a lot of these people don't have day jobs. They've got the sugar mama or sugar daddy. Or maybe they're relying on generative AI, which, if you are, again, in my opinion, and remember, opinions are like certain bits of your anatomy that everybody has, you're not a writer. If you're relying on generative AI, you are not a writer, and you will never be an author. You are a charlatan and a snake oil seller, too lazy to learn the art of constructing an intellectually captivating, let alone palatable story, let alone growing, building, or exercising your own imagination or creativity. That is what writing is about. It is exercising this gray matter in here to create things that are uniquely you, not some machine generation that you think that you can sell to other people. And you may be able to, and I guess God bless if that's the way that you want to do it, but it will never be you doing it, and you'll always know it. Your readers will too. There's a certain flavor when it comes to an individual and their writing style or generative AI. You can always tell. And no matter how good it gets, because I'm telling you, some of those voices on the bids, they're actually starting to get real good. Some of them even on the phone when they're getting those spam robocalls. Some of those voices are getting real good. But you can always tell that they're not human, just by a whisker. Anyway, sorry about that. Told you I have issues. I digress. You want to know how to start writing your book, your story, your novel? Open a blank document. Stare at the page for a while until you either go page blind or realize you can always start over if you don't like what you've written down. Start by typing out the bits. If all you've got is a bunch of disjointed concepts, like two brothers, 10 and 5, single mom, they have magic powers and a dark destiny, then write those down and start fleshing it out. Single brother or two brothers. What kind of brothers are they? Are they good brothers? Are they bad brothers? Do you have one of each, a good boy and a bad boy? How do they interact together? Single mom. Why is she single? Her boyfriend is a child Esther. Does she know about it? Why is she single? Is she oblivious? The kids have magical powers and a dark destiny. Okay, what are their respective powers? One of them can turn invisible. The other one's a mind reader. Their dark destiny. What kind of a dark destiny is it? Is it galactic? Is it universal? Is it humanitarian? Is it ancient? Is it futuristic, where they're going to grow into future dictators over an extraterrestrial world or something like that? We don't know. But this is where you get to go ahead and start fleshing that stuff out. And then right from there is where you have got your outline. And this is how a pantser, and I am a pantser, this is how, when I have a start, I have one tiny little one of those three things that I want to work on. And I think it could be a really good idea. That's how I start, is just start fleshing out little by little by little. And then here is your sheet. So before you know it, you wind up with a coherent base concept to work from. For instance, two young brothers, a single soul between them, navigate the terrors of daily life with their mom's child, our wording boyfriend, just as they learn they're destined to lead the descendants of humanity's first heroes in a war against the living dark and its sinister agents, the Shades. All right, so it's a little clunky, but it's a good place to start. And it gives you just enough to start going, okay, I got to tick this, I got to touch on this, I got to touch on this, I got to make sure that I expand that, I got to do this, I got to do that. That's really how it is. That's all it takes. I've said it before, and I will say it probably a lot more over time. Again, just said it, I'm a pantser. So even as one, I will take notes along the way. I make character sheets, just like we did back in the day when we were playing D&D and we were rolling up characters. We made character sheets with all the key points to them. Their personalities, their life experiences, what drives them. And what drives them will help you determine what is actually going to drive the story forward. And it's going to inform their respective goals. The same goes for good guys, bad guys, fluffy characters off to the side. I mean, fluffy, sorry, makes me think of Fizzgig from the Dark Crystal. If you don't know who Fizzgig is, I feel for you, man. You gotta watch the Dark Crystal. Fizzgig is one of my heroes, him and Scooby-Doo. Anyway, once you've got the premise, the main characters and the conflict, then you're ready to dive in. Let them tell you who they are. And as you learn more about who they are, again, that's when you're going to, as you continue writing along the way, things are going to smooth out. The more information you get about your characters, things are going to smooth out. So that's what editing process is all about. You go back to the beginning of it and you're like, ooh, okay, I really need to revamp that. But you've already built so much of your characters over here and so much of your story that you can go ahead and you can say, okay, now this is where I want to go with this. This is where I want to go with this. Call it like tailoring a suit in a way, or taking in something for those of us who are a little bit girth conscious, taking in an outfit or a top or a dress or a pair of pants, slacks, that are a little bit too large for you now. Anyway, sorry. I think my coffee just kicked in. Anyway, it's that hard and it's that simple. So sit down and go for it. Now, I would love to hear from you if you have other simple methods to share with our community of creatives. So please, 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 if you have not already, subscribe, like, share with our creative community, ding the little notification bell, and again, comments, read, hop in the comments, and let us know how you find a way to do it. Just because this is the way that works for me doesn't mean it will work for you, but it might be a good start and it might lead you to your own way of doing things. That's just as valid, but somebody else may need your help. So let's support each other in the writing and the creation of our own personal expressions. Anyway, again, subscribe, comment, like, share, and ding the notification. And of course, remember, please do remember 10% of all sales of my books are earmarked for the Trevor Project and itgetsbetter.org. Other than that, I thank you very, very much for taking the time to be here, for being here with me, for letting me babble on like this with, I think, way too much coffee in my system. Uh, keep reading, keep writing, and together we will keep hope alive. So, till next time, I hope you have a wonderful day and a great week upcoming. I'll talk with you soon. Thank you.